Please welcome Belinda Scandal and Mark Llewellyn.
And I'm sure it will open eventually. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Miss Belinda Scandal.
And me, Mr. Mark Llewellyn.
What a week we are having so far.
Well, we are.
We've not actually been indoors yet, have we?
No.
We've been out like a right load of party animals over the bank holiday and everything.
Here and there and everywhere.
Well, everywhere, which is good for us.
Yes, absolutely.
We sound like we're experts in energy and exercise, though.
Oh, we're not at all.
I tell you, we've basically been sat down watching a load of shows. But they've been all right shows. Now, you went yesterday.
Yes, I did.
To watch
Julian Clary at the Opera House.
I went watching Bonnie and Clyde,
Yes.
which was also rather interesting.
Right.
And we've also had our other reviewers out watching a thing called Kite, which is fantastic.
And that was at the Lowry.
At the Lowry, yes, indeed. Now, we've got a marvellous show coming up for you today. We're going to be talking about all of them shows individually in just a moment's time. Just to let you know that on today's show, we're also talking to Darren Adams, who's head of the Pride Committee over in Trafford, which is going to be fantastic because they've got some wonderful stuff coming up. Yeah. And also, we're going to be speaking to a lovely lady called Michelle Brasier.
Oh.
And she's going to be telling us all about her fantastic show as well. So this is Your Manchester. Let's talk about the shows, the theatres.
Yes.
Julian Clary, marvellous icon from the 80s. Of course, famous for doing the Joan Collins fan club.
Yes.
In the most outrageous, well, what I thought until I descended on Manchester, were the most outrageous clothes.
Fanny the Wonder Dog.
Fanny the Wonder Dog, which was a whippet.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was, I have to say, a sort of show of two halves for me.
Right.
First half, he did stand-up and he did some songs. Not the best singer, but he got away with it. And he also did a tribute to Paul O'Grady and a bit of interaction with the audience, which was great.
Right.
Second half, he got people out the audience to be in a play with him. And as you know, because you do a bit of interaction with the audience.
I insist on it. I haven't got a show, so I insist in interacting with them, yes.
That's how it felt.
Right. That's normally the reason why they do it, to be honest.
Yes, yeah. That it was a bit kind of thin on content at that point. And it, as you know, it kind of only works if you've got the right people on stage with you. It's a bit of potluck, isn't it? Who you get out of the audience.
Yeah.
And it didn't, for me, it didn't kind of particularly add a lot.
Not wrong.
Really. No. I preferred Act 1.
So would you go as far to say that he might have lost his pizzazz?
No, I think he got his pizzazz, but I just think he should either get a support act or he doesn't need to do that bit with the audience for me.
He's still going, though. It must be a good few, decades that he's been going now?
Yes, because he said he's not far off his pension.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary, isn't it?
Well, yes, because
that means I'm near it as well. Yeah.
But no, it was a pretty full house and it was beautifully dressed and some fantastic costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but he didn't need to do that bit.
Well, I went watching last night, Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, you kept that to yourself.
I know. Well, it was absolutely, thrillingly, visually gorgeous to watch.
Right, good.
It really, really was.
I'm there tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, it's worth going seeing. Definitely.
Yes.
I didn't know the story about Bonnie and Clyde. Now, how much of that we see on the stage is truth and how much isn't? I'll have to have a little, what I call a YouTube tunnel moment and see what I can find out on there.
You're supposed to not do that anymore.
Okay, thank you. Now, there was a wonderful actor in there, and I'd never seen him before.
Right.
And I was spellbound, and I think he's going to be this season's Sam Tutty.
Okay.
Yes. And his name is Alex James Hatton.
Oh, right.
And he was absolutely fantastic. What a voice.
Yeah.
Just like that. There wasn't anything he couldn't kind of do.
Okay.
Honestly. He went from these low notes to these ridiculously high notes. Yeah. There was one bit that was like his soliloquy, if you call it that. I call it a monologue because I can't say soliloquy. And he just did it very, very well. Of course, Kath Tilsley was in it as well.
Yes, from course.
Now, you expect her to be playing Bonnie, don't you? But she's not. She's playing Blanche, the sister-in-law of Clyde.
Oh, okay.
And she was very good. She's got a corker of a song in the second act, and it's just an absolute joy to listen to. Beautiful. For me, though, it kind of made you think there was going to be more in the second act than what there actually was, because it kind of does that, what I call that diminishing sort of ending. It kind of goes all the way up there and then kind of comes back down.
It has a sort of a bit of a more low-key...
Yes.
Right.
Which you don't expect from the very first bit because you think it's going to relate back to it.
So both of us found the second act slightly not as good as the first act.
Do you know what I think it might be?
What?
That we're thinking when it gets to interval time that we're only 45 minutes away from our Horlicks.
Well, I do think that. Yes. I did have an ice cream last night in the interval.
Did you? No.
Oh,
No.
see.
No, because I went in there and had a bag of wine gum and a bag of something else as well. So yes, so it was all on there. So basically, let's mark yours then. Are you going watching your show? You want people to go and see it. What would you mark it out of 10? What would you say?
Out of 10, 7.
Yeah, and I would go for 8, just because it's obviously Bonnie and Clyde's going to be better than watching Julian Clary. So that's where I'd go.
And the Kite Runner is at the Lowry.
Right.
And that is it's based on film and book of the same title. And it's about two brothers from different backgrounds and their friendship. And you can read the full review at yourmanchester.com, where you'll find all the latest news from us.
Well, that's fantastic, isn't it? I tell you what, I think we'll have an interview now.
Oh, really?
Shall we?
Yes, all right. Where should we go?
I think we should discuss Pride.
And let's go to Trafford.
Well, can you believe it is almost that time again of the year where we start talking about different prides? Can you believe it? I love Pride season.
Absolutely.
So many of them. It's fantastic.
We're very lucky in Greater Manchester.
Very lucky. One that I always like to focus on, though, is Trafford Pride. Now, that to me is just the epiphany of community and what Pride should kind of stay and remain.
The first of the season?
I don't know. There's one person that can tell us, though. Let's bring in Darren on this. Hi, Darren. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you.
Trafford Pride, is it the first one in Greater Manchester that happens each year?
One of, I think we're the second, maybe. Yeah.
Oh,
fabulous. So, what's so special about Trafford Pride? What are we looking forward to this year?
We have a few days of events. So we open on Wednesday the 15th and finish on Saturday the 18th. And we've got a series of different events. We focus on all of our community and all ages as well. So there's events for anyone that's 3 upwards, no upper limit on that as well. And kind of all of our communities get represented within this. So we give a platform to lots of diverse artists. We really focus on, rather than being family friendly, we put events on specifically for queer and non-queer families as well. So yeah, it's a really nice broad program of work that we have every year.
So have you any particular highlights yourself that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, sure. A couple of things this year that are brand new for this year. So we're doing 2 block parties, which is about communities coming together to celebrate and sort of educate, raise awareness as well. So we've got a Friday night one with the brilliant Cocoa Butter Club, who are a collective of cabaret artists of colour. They come together, really empowering night. So we're turning our main theatre space here at Waterside into a ballroom. So it's going to be runway stage, all sort of great fun. And then on Saturday, to close the festival, we've got the family block party. So we've got catwalk extravaganza outside. We've got crafts, art, soft play. We're working with Proud to Be Parents as well. So loads of stuff going on through the festival.
Because the Waterside Arts venue itself is in sale, and it's a fantastic venue all year round. But particularly when it comes to Pride, it seems to have its own new sort of lease of life when it comes to Pride. Why is it so important to have it within that particular area for you?
Well, I think we in Trafford, we don't have a big town centre. We've got a series of smaller towns. So Sale felt like a right fit for us. There's a really lovely sort of community feel around it. We're in a lovely spot by the canal as well. And it was about bringing all of Trafford together into our events. But most of our events have got an arts-led theme. So I'm really passionate, as you know, Belinda, about supporting queer artists and supporting developing new work. And you may recall last year, we had a show called Bitopia that we commissioned, and that one this year is going to Glastonbury Festival and Edinburgh Fringe as well. So there's a real life for that work after it's showcased here at Pride as well. So yeah, we're really proud of the arts activity, particularly that we're delivering here.
And you've got venues that, like your own, that are really easy to get to on public transport, haven't you, as well?
We have. I mean, we're 15 minutes on the Metrolink from Manchester City Centre or Altrincham as well. We've also got Youth Pride, which is happening over at Gorse Hill Studios, just on the edge of Stretford. So that's really easy to get to as well. So yeah, really well connected and lots of options to travel over here as well.
So tell everybody then, where can they get tickets for this? Is it a free event, this Trafford Pride, or is there some events that are free, some that aren't? And also, when is it coming to Trafford?
Sure, yeah, about 80% are free, and everything else is really low cost. So it's all subsidised work that we put on here. All of the events are on prideintrafford.com and we prideintrafford.org, and we're going to run from next Wednesday the 15th through to Saturday the 18th of May.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
I do like this one. Like I say, I'm into this one.
Lots going on.
Lots going on. There is lots going on.
There is.
You're never stuck for stuff to do.
You're never far
over there, Pride. Never far from.
Oh, I'm going to write that down.
I think you should. Anyway, thank you, Darren, so much for your time today. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Doesn't that look fantastic?
That's now.
Yes.
Have I heard a rumour on the streets that you are also appearing for Trafford Pride?
Well, this is true. I'm going to be from 5 o'clock till around 8 o'clock.
Yes.
On the 18th, which is the Pride Saturday.
Yes.
A place called Cantina, which is a fabulous little place in the middle of the sort of Trafford Square.
So people will be up close and personal, will they?
Yes, and there's no charge for it.
Really?
Yes. No. I am literally there to sing my little heart out and entertain them. And last year, it was red hot.
Right.
And I got a tan through my very designer hairpiece, and it wasn't nice.
Do you mean that's not real?
No.
No. Well,
it's a merkin.
It won't.
What? So that's going to be happening on the 18th. Don't stare too close.
I'll join.
Thank you.
Right, yes.
In the middle.
Now.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is the point in the show where we were going to be talking about what's happening with Co-op Live, because they've got so many shows on. It says here they are now doing so many wonderful shows.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to change that text, because what are they doing, please?
Well, I don't know. I mean, things have got so desperate that I'm actually hosting a hip hop festival in my conservatory. Try and help them out.
I dare you. I dare you to get into hip hop. Yeah, but that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah. There's a lot of acts moving across the road.
The AO, which is a bit difficult, isn't it? Because they were kind of a bit sniffy about the AO arena.
Yeah, they were.
Weren't they?
They weren't singing its praises, were they? And now all of a sudden it's helped them out a little bit, hasn't it?
It's a bit difficult, isn't it?
I wonder when. Do you remember back in the day when they said that Peter Kay was going to be the first act?
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember that? That's going to be.
He's going to be there for Christmas 2028.
Yes. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Either way, though, they are doing a lot of health and safety checks, aren't they? This is why
it'll be very healthy and very safety.
It will be. The place will be
open.
Cladded in padding, everybody.
Well, I drove past last night on my way down, and there were an awful lot of builders. Tip off there. There were an awful lot of builders around there.
Really?
Yes, there were. If you like hard hats, it's the place to go.
So does that mean that they're on it then? Do you know what I mean?
They went on it. They were stood on the street. So, no.
We've been invited to quite a few things there already. And and we've missed. We've not been to any of them yet.
No. Oh, well.
What more can you say about
it? I mean,
Co-op Live coming soon.
People are saying, will it do long-term damage to the reputation? But I guess when they open, people want to see the act that's going to appear there. They're going to go, aren't they?
Well, that's true.
You know,
yeah.
So, yes, there's that. And in fact,
while
we're having a little grumble, I'm going to have a grumble now.
Oh, aye.
How difficult it is, and I know this is kind of intentional to get people on public transport and on bicycles, but how difficult it is to drive across central Manchester. It took me
getting crazy
as long last night to drive through the centre to get to the car park as it did to get from Oldham to Piccadilly Station.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Really?
And then a lot of the traffic lights only let through one vehicle or two vehicles at a time. It's all like it's been carefully designed.
So that everybody gets sick of it, so they end up driving. I mean, walking. On the tram.
Or on a bicycle.
Well, have you seen how much money it's cost to rebrand these trams and buses and everything?
Yes.
That's been in the press, hasn't it, recently? So it's tricky, isn't it, is what we're saying.
It's very tricky, isn't it? I mean, we leave the studio here, don't we?
And it takes us half an hour.
Theatre opening night, it takes us ages.
We were late for one.
We were.
And that weren't our fault, was it?
No, luckily they made the audience wait for us.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
That's
they did make the audience, but that's what happens, isn't it? Should we have our second interview?
Well, I suppose so.
Well, let's do it then. Yes. And joining us now is the fantastic Michelle Brasier. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Where are you coming from at the moment?
I'm in Los Angeles for the Netflix is a Joke Festival, but I am Australian.
You are around everywhere at the moment, aren't you? You are doing remarkably well with this.
Thank you so much. I'm getting on a lot of planes.
And are you enjoying it though? Because I mean, it must feel like a real proper pat on the back to know that you started off doing something that you're passionate about, and now you're getting proper praise for this.
It feels amazing. I'm from Wagga Wagga, teen pregnancy capital of Australia. Like this, I can't believe I've even left the house. It's crazy.
We may be the twin town.
We may be. So tell everybody then, what is it that you're doing? I mean, you're coming to Manchester soon. We want to get people enticed and excited about you coming to Manchester. What is it people should be, looking out for with you?
So I'm doing my comedy show Reform. I did a season at the Edinburgh Fringe and sold out. It was really fun. So I know that UK audiences like it, which is a phew relief. But yeah, it's a true story about how I made friends with my scammer instead of going to the police, and eventually became his emergency contact. Unfortunately, it is a true story from my real life that I live in.
And how did you end up making? I mean, because it begs the question, doesn't it? How did you end up becoming friends with your scammer rather than just dobbing them in?
I think I felt bad for him. He also recognized me. So he eventually blocked me. So I tried to buy something from him from a Pilates reformer, which is like, do you know Pilates? It's like a rowing machine crossed with a torture device. It's not fun. It was honestly, that was my first mistake. It was a terrible choice, but it was during the lockdown, and he didn't send it, and then he would make excuses. Then he blocked me, but I found he used his real Facebook profile, so I found his friend, messaged them, and was like, "I'm going to the police unless he calls me in the next 5 minutes." He accidentally FaceTimed me, saw my face, and went, "Oh, Auntie Donna," which is a sketch comedy group I work with. Turned out to be a fan of my work, and I'm flattered by anyone looking twice, So I think that really helped. But I also I don't know, I felt really sorry for him. I would rather be a fool than a cynic, I always say. And I was like, all right, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, who cares? I'll make a show and I'll sell out Edinburgh Fringe. Grow up. So I just pulled at the threads and asked him, I was just interested in how he'd gotten to this place in his life where he used his real Facebook profile to scam people. I was like, how did you get so desperate? And also, who are you? And why are you so bad at scamming? I kind of felt bad for him. But yeah, I really don't know how this happened to me. I make some really clear decisions that could be misconstrued as wrong.
I don't even know where to go from that.
No, that's it. So it's a comedy, isn't it?
It's a comedy, and it's also a music. It's got lots of original songs in it that I wrote, that I've made out of our conversations. And we see, I've got a projector, so you see all of our conversations, like me accidentally sending him a picture of Gillian Anderson in the fall and things like that when I'm trying to be assertive and get my money back. It was fun.
Has he seen the show?
He's seen the show. Yeah, he has.
Oh.
He likes it. I think he thinks he's portrayed really well. Because my partner plays him. My real life partner. He plays guitar in the show, and he also plays my scammer. And yeah, he was like, yeah, he did a really good job.
Right. But he's not asking for royalties.
He's not, but God, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's probably talking without you knowing already.
It'll be good. I mean, if he asks for royalties, great. That's my next show. That's something to write about. Do you know what I mean? It's all content.
So you're kind of performing all over the world. Do you find the comedy and the audience's reaction different in different places?
I mean, sort of. In different cities, it's different. In the UK, I had a really lovely time. I really loved it. I think the UK liked the show more than even in Australia, which was weird. My show before this show in Australia is everybody's favorite show of mine. But then I took this one to Edinburgh, and I was like, oh God, no one's going to like this because it's my second best show or whatever. And it was the 10th best reviewed show at Edinburgh Fringe. Everyone loved it. I was like, okay, the UK loves me getting scammed. They simply love to see me losing my money. And then, yeah, the America is really interesting. They're so generous, and they love a standing ovation, and they love to tell you that you're the best thing they've ever seen. You could just walk past an American, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're incredible! You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen," which is great. That's why I'm here. Really, I just need the compliments to pump me up.
It's got to be done. So you're coming to Manchester. You're coming to Un Frog and Bouquet.
Yes.
Frog and Bouquet, we call it. It's posh.
Frog and Bouquet. I love that.
Yes. And what date is it? It's the
21st of May.
20th. Oh, that's right. You're doing a lot of travelling, aren't you, then?
I am. Yeah. I will not stop.
So you're doing other dates in the UK?
I am. Yeah. I'm going all around the UK and Ireland. I'm going over to Glasgow as well. And then I'm coming back to the Fringe with a brand new show in August. So can't stop me. Can't hold me down.
I get a feeling there's going to be a lot more travel for you in the works, because I think you'll be kind of doing this a lot more. And I think you've got a great career ahead of you. For now, though, I'm being told we are out of time, though. So thank you so much. That's really cheered us up.
Yes, hasn't it?
Yes. It really
Thanks
is.
so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Right then, next week we've got a lovely show lined up. We really have. We have
on it.
Now,
Let's have a full list of you.
let me tell you now. On next week's show, we have got the beginning and the end, and a middle.
Excellent. Which is going to be the best?
Oh, probably the middle.
Yes.
Probably the middle.
Is,
It's normally when the penicillin's kicked in.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
In the meantime, though, make sure you check out this week's podcast. It's going to be sensational.
And if you can't get on because there's so many people who hit it, it collapses often under the weight of the hits.
We must just tell you just before we go, we have checked out today where our podcast is being listened to, and one of the countries is first of all, there's a place in Spain called Tias.
Yes,
that's been been listened to there.
Where was that, Lanzarote? Was it?
I don't know, somewhere. And where was the other place that you found in America?
It was in Wyoming, in the middle of nowhere.
In Wyoming.
Yes, we're big on the prairies.
Big on the prairies.
Yes, we're big with cowboys.
Big with cowboys. Yeehaw. And in other words, thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.